Hello everyone and welcome back to Half Magick Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is what dream of yours is coming true soon. There are 4 piles to choose from and I suggest selecting your pile based on the pile marker that sparks some memory in you. So for example, I would choose pile 3 Spirit because underneath the spirit heading on this card, there's like a gastropod shell, just one of my favorite shells to collect. I have a bunch of them laying around in my bedroom, so that is why I would choose my pile. Feel free to pause the video now to select your pile. I'll put the timestamps in the description down below, and let's get started. If you selected pile 1, Hex, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out what dream of yours is coming true next. We're starting off your spread here with this 3 of Swords. And what I'm getting is that a lot of you have recently experienced or kind of are still in the midst of a heartbreak. The 3 of Swords is a heartbreak card. For most of you, this is romantic, but it doesn't have to be. For others of you, this is maybe like a friend breakup or you had a falling out with a family member. But again, I think for most of you, this is a romantic partner. And I think that the separation from this person was very painful for you. And I think for a lot of you, you feel like you're lacking clarity. Like, I think part of you definitely still longs for this person, or you're wondering if you can make it work. You're wondering what you did wrong, how you can make this person like you again. And a clue to who this person is this Knight of Cups card here. So they could be a Pisces or have a prominent Pisces placement in their natal chart, their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, Venus. If this was a romantic partner, this is someone who could be very romantic. But one of the downsides of the Knight of Cups is that sometimes they're more in love with the idea of being in love than they are with the actual person. And because of that, this person can have a tendency to love bomb. So maybe that's a situation you're in where this person promised you the world, they told you how much they loved you, and then they just kind of dipped out of nowhere and it gave you emotional whiplash. You were like, well, why would they do that if they were saying all these things? And it's not really a reflection of you. This person wants to be those things. They just don't there's no directive for it. They were kind of using you as a vessel, which is insulting and not, the foundation of an ideal relationship. Now, for others of you, this is non-romantic. This is probably someone who was seemingly like very empathetic and caring, but then you felt like maybe they left you hanging when you needed them the most. Like maybe you had a friend and you were like, they give the best advice ever. And then you were going through something and you went and asked them for help and they were like, why are you talking to me about that? You were like, oh, okay. So, there's this feeling of having a lot of trust in this person and feeling emotionally safe with them and then having the rug pulled out from under you. Now, this is a pick a card reading about which dream of yours is coming true next. So this is not completely negative. This is just kind of giving me the backstory because really the dream that's coming true is you being able to recover and move on from this. We have in the middle of your spread here this 4 of Cups, and this is a card of indifference. This is the card of emotional indifference. And they say the opposite of love isn't hate because there's an obsession there, like that person's still on your mind. The opposite of love is indifference, just not caring. You are starting to just not really care, like what happened with this person. You're like, I don't think you're as emotionally invested. You're like, they weren't meant to be in my life. They weren't meant to be in my life, but I'm not going to fight it or try to find out why. And I think you really come to this realization through the energy of the last 2 cards here, which is the 6 of Cups and the Tower. So the 6 of Cups is a card of reflection. And so I think you kind of think back onto the relationship that you had with this person, the things that they did, and maybe you remove those rose-colored glasses. You're like, I thought this person was so great at the time, but were they really? Like, was I just excited because they gave me like bare minimum and, that felt good enough for me? But maybe this person isn't actually what I needed or wanted, and that's coming through in that last card, the Tower. Because the Tower is all about recognizing when something does not have a stable foundation. So if you think about the imagery of the tower, like on this card, the tower is up in flames. The tower you have to build brick by brick. You lay out the foundation, you build it up, but if something in the foundation is wonky, then it can cause the whole tower to crumble down. So you really have to make sure you're going through each step and everything at the bottom is good enough. Otherwise, you can't reach the top. It's going to end up in flames. And so that is the realization you have, I think, looking back on your relationship with this person where you're like, actually, they weren't that great and they didn't make me feel that good. And if I still had them in my life, then I couldn't do this, or this because they would be holding me back. And having that realization really allows you to free yourself from feeling tethered to this person, feeling upset about this person, and allows you to move forward and not really accept bare minimum behavior or people that are just not good for you in the long run anymore. And that's being reflected in the pile marker that you selected as well, which says hex or banishment. This is all about banishing negative energies from your life. So you are getting rid of this person that is still dragging you down, even if they're not present. Even if they left you, they're still, making you feel heartbroken, making you feel unsure of yourself. And finally, you have indifference because you really do the deep thinking about this. And that's also reflected in the archetype card that we pulled here, which is the desert. So if you think of the desert, you're walking around, it's sandy, you probably can't see any landmarks or anything. It's barren, it's isolating, there's nothing there. But also, when people have been stuck in the desert for a long time and maybe they're dehydrated, they'll hallucinate, they'll see the oasis or they'll kind of have an epiphany. And so this card is really reflective of that you needed to have this kind of isolating, debilitating experience with this person to have the epiphany of, oh, it wouldn't have worked out anyway because I was accepting bare minimum, or this person wasn't really who they were presenting themselves to be. And I think that realization is really what serves you and allows you to detach emotionally and move on from this person completely. That's also being reflected in the final card that we pulled here from the Making Magic deck. This says triple spiral, listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. So again, that divine wisdom to me is kind of synonymous with that desert card. You are learning from this experience and also you're joyfully learning it. This was a painful, but I think once you reach this level of clarity and understanding this, you're like, actually, I have so much more fun when I'm not being stressed out by this person. And so then you can move on and live a more full life, live a more intentional life when it comes to your relationships with other people, not accepting bare minimum, etc. And so that is really the universe's gift to you, is the realization that this person wasn't it, and that you need someone who's really going to build you up and not, be the tumbling block in your Jenga pile, basically. So congratulations to you, my pile ones. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 2, familiar, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out what dream of yours is coming true next. We're starting off your spread with this Ace of Swords in reverse. And I really strongly feel that this is a love reading for a lot of you. So with the Ace of Swords in reverse, you felt a lack of clarity about your love life. You're like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe you feel like your conversations with people never really go anywhere. You're not really sure how people feel about you. You get a lot of mixed signals, and it just feels like you can never really get a concise answer about anything. It never really feels like you know where anything is going, and it just fizzles out probably. And because of that, you've been in this Four of Swords energy, which is A card basically about, stagnancy. There's not a whole lot going on. It's not bad. Four of Swords isn't a negative card. You're like, kind of enjoying your rest from having to deal with not really understanding what these people want from you or feeling like confused by people's intentions. But there's not anything going on. Like there's no movement. It's just you taking a break, basically. And with the Death card, this is the real change because the Death card is all about change. This is a complete transformation in your love life. So we're going from this feeling of like, everything kind of just fizzles out, never really know how people feel about me, I'm just not even worried about it anymore, to this new person coming in for you. This person could be a Scorpio or have a prominent Scorpio placement in their natal chart, so their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus. But they may have like dark features, so dark eyes, maybe like a dark skin tone for regardless of what ethnicity they are, what race they are, dark hair. And this person could have kind of like a broody vibe. Think of someone like Adam Driver. Like he comes off as kind of like intense and dark. I don't know that he's actually that way, but that's like how he's perceived, right? So that's kind of the vibe of a little hint of who this person might be. But there is an immediate traction here with this Page of Wands. This is feeling excited about this person. This is understanding that you both are attracted to each other. There's like forward movement. There's connection. There's instant communication. And there's a lot, of intention here. There's a lot of intention to move forward. You don't second guess where you stand with this person. They make it pretty clear that they want to be with you and you want to be with them. And this person, maybe because they are a little broody and scorpionic, and Scorpios are kind of like possessive, not necessarily in a bad way, but they're very protective of the people that they love, the things that they love, their personal lives, their heart. And so with the Nine of Wands here, I see this as this person being very protective of you. Like they really want to make sure you're okay all the time. This is the kind of person who would be concerned if it's like 3 p.m. and you said you haven't eaten yet today. This person like definitely really is caring about your well-being, and they are very just protective of you, don't want you to be hurt, don't want you to be suffering, don't want you to be upset. This person will move mountains to make sure that you are safe. And that's coming through in the pile marker that you selected, this familiar guardian. So this is from the Witch's Wisdom deck. Familiar usually is like a pet, but I think the real message of this card is that a familiar is kind of like a spirit that will stick beside you through thick and thin and always has your best intentions in mind and wants to help you. And so that's kind of the vibe of this person. And again, they are very protective. They do have that kind of guardian energy. They're guarding you, but basically they just want to make sure that you're good. They want you to feel supported. They don't want you to feel emotionally confused. And so this person's very loyal, very protective, and there for you. And that's also being reflected in the archetype card that we pulled here, which is the shapeshifter. So this is someone who, again, you're very drawn to. You find them very dazzling. In the description for this card, it kind of compared it to like a kaleidoscope. So, kaleidoscope, you spin it and you see these really beautiful patterns through like a new lens, and it's dazzling, like it's fun to look at. And so I think this person really captures your eye and you really like them. But also the shapeshifter is about adaptability. This person wants to be whatever you need. This person is there for you if you really need a shoulder to cry on. They're there for you if you need space. They're there for you if you want advice. They're there for you if you just want to sit and talk shit for 3 minutes or whatever. So this person is really good at kind of anticipating your needs and your desires, and they're good at fulfilling them. This is someone who is very eager to please. And again, that's really kind of the opposite of what you've been dealing with in your love life up until this point, of not really understanding what these people want, feeling like it's not going anywhere. This person is very eager to prove to you that they want to be in your life. And that's all being reflected in the final card that we pulled here from the Making Magic deck that says Love Charm. Attract a lover, soulmate, or life partner. So that's just kind of a confirmation that you are attracting this person who is the opposite of all of these kind of hee-haws of yesteryear. You are going to really like this person and kind of feel an immediate attraction to them and not have to second guess where you stand with them. This person is very reassuring, they're protective, they really like you, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun with them. So congratulations to you, my Pile 2s. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected Pile 3, Spirit, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out which dream of yours is coming true next. We're starting off your spread here with this Knight of Wands in reverse. And to me, this indicates that the people that selected this pile have long suffered from self-esteem issues or from deliberating or overthinking things so much that they psych themselves out. So the Knight of Wands upright is typically someone who's very confident, is a go-getter, not afraid to get what they want, has a lot of energy, has a lot of passion. But in reverse, this can be someone who is very insecure. They don't feel attractive physically. They don't feel like they are deserving of the things that they want. They give up before they even try something because they feel like it won't work out or they're not qualified enough. There's a lot of holding oneself back here. And so I think this is an energy that you have experienced for probably a long time. For a lot of you, you have kind of a poor self-image, and it's something that you've struggled with. And with the Eight of Swords next to this, I think you do have an awareness that this is mostly in your head. Probably you know that this is a side result of perfectionism and not an actual reflection of who you are. It's I was just listening to, I think it was an episode of the Happiness Lab podcast about perfectionism. And there was a girl on there who was talking about how she kind of made it her mission to make really great grades. She became her valedictorian. She graduated at the top of her class. She got into her dream school. She had an amazing GPA there, and then she went to medical school or graduate school after that, and then she got a scientific paper published. And she said in this podcast episode that every time she would make another one of these great achievements, she wouldn't really celebrate it or feel accomplished. She would immediately think, oh, well, what am I going to do next to prove that it's not just a fluke? To prove that, I'm not a one-hit wonder. I'm not someone who just got lucky this one time. I need to keep getting better and better. And she ended up really burning herself out. But I think that's a story that maybe a lot of people who selected this pile can relate to, of just being very hard on yourselves, not feeling like you're enough, really having a lack mindset when it comes to your skills and talent and what you deserve. But again, as I said, the Eight of Swords, there is an awareness here that probably it is you doing it to yourself, because the Eight of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck is represented visually by this woman who is blindfolded. She's kind of in the middle of the desert. She's surrounded by 8 swords that are stuck in the ground. And she feels hopeless. She feels like she's stuck. She's like, I'm going to die here. I don't know what to do. But the reality is one of her hand is pretty loose. She can easily take off her blindfold, look around, see that she's just basically standing inside an open circle, and she can step out of it at any time. But it's hard to see past our own fears and past the shields that we put on ourselves. So again, I think this is something that you've been stuck in for a while, where you just have a serious lack of confidence in your abilities, your attractiveness, whatever it is that you feel like you've been lacking. But again, this is a reading for which dream of yours is going to come true next. So the dream that's coming true is represented by this beautiful strength card in the middle of your spread. Strength is all about overcoming, having the strength to overcome the obstacles. So this is you overcoming that lack of self-confidence, that feeling like you're not enough, feeling like you're undeserving, like you're unworthy. This is you stepping out of that energy and taming it and quieting the voice of that inner saboteur that you have. So usually in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, strength is represented by a woman who is kind of holding closed a lion's mouth. So it's taking this thing that really has the capacity to do harm to you and taming it and saying, I acknowledge that you exist. I acknowledge that you're here, but I'm not going to let you hurt me anymore. And that's really what you're going to do with these thoughts of not being enough. And once you do this, once you are able to kind of get a hold on these negative self-beliefs, these limiting beliefs that you have, I think other people are really going to reflect that back to you with this Three of Pentacles, which is all about basically being put on a pedestal. People really praising you for all of the work that you put in. And so, you start feeling more confident and other people notice that and they're like, whoa, you've been doing such a great job. You've been killing it. I noticed that you've been trying all these new things that maybe you were too scared to try before, and you're awesome at it. You should keep going. You have a lot of very supportive people around you who want to see you thrive in this way. And so maybe that's one of your fears, that people will make fun of you if you go after these things that you want. That is not the case. I think people are going to be very supportive and they're going to be there for you and they're going to think what you're doing is really cool and it seems very true to who you are as a person. And I think you will find a lot of success and a lot of happiness and a lot of recognition through that. And that's being represented also in the last card in your spread here, this World card. This is kind of a reminder that this has been a journey for you. This is not something that has been overnight. This is probably something that you've been working on for a long time. Again, I think a lot of you know that you have this issue. Maybe you've been in therapy for it. Maybe you've been reading self-help books. Maybe you've been saying affirmations to yourself every day. But this is something that you have actively worked on. This is a process and it hasn't been linear. It hasn't been easy. But the World is a card that signifies the completion of a journey. And so this is you finally really reaping the benefits of all of that hard work that you put in, all of that self-examination. And if you look on this card, the person on the card is surrounded by a laurel wreath, which represents both victory and protection. So this is saying, you are on the right path. You're protected, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you will feel very victorious at the end of this. And it really opens you up to new possibilities once you have that level of self-confidence in yourself and other people can see that emanating out from you. I think you feel a lot more confident in approaching the world and making the world your oyster. And that's also coming through in the pile marker that you selected here, Spirit or Initiation. And this card is all about how, in order to tap into spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, you really have to be true to yourself and figure out what makes you feel most connected to yourself and the world around you. So that can be anything. What makes you feel confident? What makes you feel most like yourself? What makes you feel comfortable? Maybe that's dressing in a way that you were too scared to dress before because you were scared of being judged. Maybe that's quitting your soul-draining job to go be a sous chef in a restaurant you really like. It's you making the decision to do things that align with the person that you know you want to be, the version of yourself that you know will be most fulfilled. And that's also reflected in the archetypes card that we pulled for this pile, which is the self. And what did I say before about the World card? You're trying to make the world your oyster, and here's the pearl. You have the pearl inside you. You are the pearl. And this self card is all about being true to yourself, being authentic, allowing yourself to contain multitudes, following your impulses, not trying to suppress parts of yourself or say that it's too much or not enough, and just allow yourself to be and accept who you are, what your wants are, what your desires are, what your needs are, and give them the space to exist. And I think all of this is reflected also in the last card that I pulled for this pile from the Making Magic deck, which says Sun. The golden energy of the sun brings fame and fortune. So astrologically, the sun is all about the self. It's your personality. You know, if someone asks you what your zodiac sign is, what you're saying to them is your sun sign. So the sun is all about yourself, your personality, and the sun is also associated with the zodiac sign Leo. So you could be a Leo or have a prominent Leo placement in your natal chart, your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, Venus. I myself would have chosen this pile, and I am a Leo rising. And that's also reflected again in the strength card here, because the strength card is also a card that is for Leo. And we have a lion. Leos are lions, so lots of Leo energy here. But Leos are known for being very performative. Like, people want to watch them. And like the sun, they shine. They light up every room they're in. People are drawn to them. People are attracted to them. People feel like they grow in the light that a Leo gives off, in the light that they emanate when they're really true to themselves. And so in conclusion, your next dream coming true is the ability to let go of these limiting beliefs and really step into who it is that you want to be. What is the dream version of yourself, and living that way, allowing yourself to be free, allowing yourself to be the most authentic version of you. And other people are going to see that and support that and admire that about you. You're going to feel very cherished and very loved through this process. And that's awesome. So congratulations to you, my pile threes. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. If you selected pile 4, Magic Circle, welcome to your reading. Let's figure out which dream of yours is coming true next. We're starting off your spread with this 7 of Wands. And what I'm hearing is that you have someone in your life that makes you feel small. They make you feel like whatever you do is not good enough. You feel like you're always trying to elevate yourself. You're trying to do better. You're trying to have these impressive accomplishments. And I think for the most part you do. You are someone who's excelling because you are trying so hard. But no matter how many obstacles you get over, no matter how much you elevate yourself, this person is still going to sit there and criticize you. It's not going to be enough. An example of this would be like if this is a parent, for example. Maybe you earn an A- on this really difficult essay you had to turn in for one of your classes, and they look at that and they think, well, why didn't you get an A+? Clearly you're not trying hard enough. It's that kind of energy, but it doesn't have to be specifically related to academics. And a clue to who this person might be, if you don't already have someone in mind, is this Queen of Swords card next to the 7 of Wands in your spread. So this person is probably, most likely, a feminine energy. So could be a woman, doesn't have to be a woman, but a feminine energy within your life. The Queen of Swords is also the card that represents Libra. So this person could be a Libra or have a prominent Libra placement in their natal chart. So their sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, Venus. Of course, that won't be the case for all of you. That's just kind of a clue. But generally, this person is embodying that Libra Queen of Swords energy, which is someone who maybe comes off as being like very straightforward, not rude necessarily, but they're not overly empathetic. This is not someone you would go to when you need a shoulder to cry on, but this is someone who maybe is thought of as giving good advice. And one of the qualities of Libra is that they're very diplomatic, but they also kind of have this flip-floppy energy, because kind of the downside of Libra is that it can be real people-pleasing energy, or that it can kind of project what they think other people want to see. So probably this person is actually well liked by a lot of people, but they make you feel unseen, or they make you feel poorly about yourself. This definitely has the energy of someone who's like very good at kind of picking at you without making it overly obvious. So think about like kind of like a southern United States woman, you know, when they say the phrase bless your heart, which sounds very sweet. It's like, oh, you're blessing me. You want me to be healthy. What that really means is like F you. So that's kind of the vibe, is that this person, they're picking at you, or their criticism of you may not be overly obvious to other people, but to you, you understand what they mean, and it makes you feel really bad. But it's kind of hard to hold them accountable because they have the plausible deniability of being like, well, I don't know what you mean. I just said it like this, you know? So that's a clue to who this person is. But your next dream that is coming true is you are going to find the strength and the words to cut this person out, to stand up for yourself. And that's coming through in the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is all about incoming messages, and in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, it is, kind of a young person, a naive person holding this sword, but they're about to slice through something. So I always see the Page of Swords as slicing through the thing next to them. So you're severing your relationship with this person. You're severing the hold they have over you, and you are growing from this page to a queen. Like I said, the page is kind of naive. It's like a child, but it's the first step into maturation. So in a tarot deck, you go from a page to a knight to a queen and then to a king. So you are jumping, once you cut this person off, from a page, someone who has ideas, someone who has a vision, someone who knows how they should be treated, into this queen who feels more solid and more dependable within themselves. And the Queen of Pentacles in particular is someone who really knows their own worth. This is someone who understands that they have a lot to offer and understands that they deserve patience and kindness, and they know that they're like, bad bitches. Like you have so much to give, you've accomplished so much, and you're not going to let anyone talk to you crazy anymore. And that's really the energy that's coming through. So for a lot of you, you could be Capricorns or have a prominent Capricorn placement in your natal chart, a Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. And I'm also picking up both Pisces and Cancer here. So those signs might also apply to you as well. But the very final card that we have here is this High Priestess. And the High Priestess is someone who has a deep understanding of themselves. They just know. They trust their gut. They trust their instincts. This is a very knowledgeable person, and this is someone who is leading themselves based on what they know to be true, even if other people don't see their vision. So this is you really trusting yourself and not allowing this person's words, their meddling, to get to you anymore, and knowing that you are someone who has all of the skills and all of the knowledge to succeed and do what you want to do in life. And all of this is being reflected in the pile marker that you selected, which is Magic Circle or Protection. This is literally about how you have someone around you who is maybe showing two faces. They're secretly being a little harmful, and so it's time for you to protect yourself from this person. And that's exactly what is being represented in that Page of Swords card. It is you cutting this person out of your life, stepping away, and not dealing with them trying to, bring you down anymore. And that's also reflected in the archetype card we selected, which is the Empty Room. So the Empty Room is all about a lack, right? There's nothing in there. Of course, it has potential, but, if you're being very pessimistic, you're just like, well, nothing's been accomplished. There's nothing there. There's nothing inside. And so this is the way that this person makes you feel, or that they want you to feel, that you have not accomplished anything, that you are not successful, that you do not contain skills or ambition or talent, intellect, whatever it is that they wanted you to doubt about yourself. And so it is up to you to say, actually, I don't really care what you think, because even if you see an empty room, that means it's just full of, potential. I can do anything I want with this. I have so many ways to grow and to evolve. And that's really the step that you're taking when you no longer give credence to this person. And finally, that's reflected in the last card that I pulled for this pile from the Making Magic deck. This says safe and happy travel, protection from harm when journeying. So I don't think this is literal. I don't think you're necessarily about to go on a trip. I think this is just travel, like moving away from this person. And you are protected in this process. This is something that will give you a higher level of protection and make you feel safer and happier. And that is what dream is coming true for you. So congratulations to you, my pile fours. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.